Bickley and Marotta Mornings. Arizona Sports. The local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
Turning points can happen without notice. They can emerge in moments of weakness and in moments of bleakness, like Monday night at Chase Field. For the second consecutive game, the Diamondbacks were down to their final 3 outs, needing 4 runs to tie and 5 runs to win. They almost pulled it off Sunday. They did not fail last night. And after going 0 for 9 to start the game as a team, the Diamondbacks finished with 14 hits in their final 28 at-bats, including Corbin Carroll's walk-off homer to win it. For a team that has steadfastly refused to be special, you hope that this was the turning point. If not a crossroads for the team, you hope it's a transformative moment for Carroll. The endgame heroics were his first walk-off home run as a major leaguer, and it could be exactly the kind of launching pad moment for a player suffering from one of the worst cases of sophomore slumps we have ever seen in Major League Baseball. Now, it is probably too late for Carroll to post a great individual season, but it is not too late for him to help the Diamondbacks have a great finish, especially if Christian Walker gets put on the shelf later today. Bottom line, if Carroll is an impact player and a game changer from this point forward, it will say a lot about his tenacity and his toughness, and it will go a long way in getting this team back in the postseason. All right, today's Bickley Blast brought to you by my great friends at Chapman BMW, who make luxury attainable. Find them online at chapmanbmw.com.
Yeah, I think for a young player that's walking through the type of year that he is, there's so many ups and downs, and he's trying to manage that. And I know that he's such a team player, and when he's not performing up to the standard that he has set, I know that it bothers him. But for him to run around the bases, and I got a chance to watch him smiling as he was doing it, it was pretty awesome. So, I want him to go out and have the best 2 months of his life. He's very capable of doing that, and this could be a really good catalyst to push him in that direction.
He is very capable of doing it.
Love it.
Whether it happens, we'll see. There's been numerous times this year where I think everybody with an interest in the Arizona Diamondbacks is like, okay, Corbin Carroll's back. And then it gets followed with a period of non-productivity. But if you look at the last 2 days, what he's done in those late game situations, once on Sunday, that triple he ripped down the line was about as hard as he's hit a ball all year.
Yeah.
Last night's was not far off. He called it maybe one of his best swings of the season when he talked about his at-bat against Kyle Finnegan. This was with Jody Jackson and Mark Grace on D-backs TV.
Yeah, he's got a good fastball and a splitter that breaks right off of that. It was up there ready to hit a heater. Got that first splitter a little bit out in front, and just put a fastball and put a really good swing on it. Probably one of my best all year, honestly.
So maybe that's a sign. Maybe that's a little clue on what's happening. But I will say this, again, before the game started, I can't not share what I was thinking during the game when the Diamondbacks came out flat offensively again. And there was a lot of talk on the television broadcast. Steve Berthiaume was relaying what Torey Lovello said pregame, and that was, this is a lineup built to score runs tonight. And you're like, is it though? And all due respect, Alek Thomas had a big hit in the ninth inning that led to this, but he started against a lefty. Alek Thomas's numbers, although it's a smaller sample because he's been injured a lot, his sample or his numbers against lefties is far worse than Corbin Carroll's this year.
Yeah, but different players and different expectations, and I think it really does speak to Corbin Carroll and how much thought he puts and preparation he puts into the game, and he strikes me as the player that can get locked and trapped in his own head. Not the type of player who can just go and head down to the bar after a bad game and forget about it, like old school baseball players once did. So here's what I think. In watching him round the bases last night was a great moment. I'm glad that Torey kind of mentioned it, because a guy like Corbin Carroll, not only are you wearing this terrible face as one of the worst sophomore slumps people have seen in Major League Baseball, you're also you have got this feeling that you're letting everyone down around you. And believe me, Corbin Carroll understands he looks like a platoon player now. He understands that. He knows how embarrassing that is. To come through like he did last night, and he came through Sunday as well, but to come through last night with a walk-off home run, the elation he must have felt for finally serving his teammates and delivering a victory, literally delivering a victory. And so what I'm saying is for a player like Corbin Carroll, I think that can really get you in a much better place. And I hope he's there, and I hope he stays there, because he can get super hot for a while now, and this would be the perfect time to do it, especially if we've got some issues with Christian Walker.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of not that Christian Walker has been as red hot as he was over 4th of July weekend in Los Angeles, because that was otherworldly, but he's been incredibly steady. Mm-hmm. He's the best defensive first baseman in baseball. I don't hesitate to say that. I don't say one of. He is the best defensive first baseman in baseball. Mm-hmm. They got to be crossing their fingers and holding their breath. And I don't expect it to be great news, but you can work with 15 days, as you brought up earlier, maybe a little bit longer. Yep. But if it's longer than that,
well, if you got a tear, then you might be looking at something that's not good at all. But the idea of maybe sliding in Lourdes Gurriel Jr. to play first base, he's got the size, he's rangy. So he's a big target, which you want in first baseman. It's not the greatest idea, but at least that way you're allowing your depth in outfielders to shine. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's a great solution. Going and getting Cody Bellinger today is a much better solution, if you ask me.
Which, look, it's been out there. Some people have suggested it. Sometimes it's silly season when it comes to trade deadline rumors. I don't think there's any chance that that's going to happen.
Not going to happen.
I will say this too. It was funny because last night that comeback, Kyle Finnegan's had a really good year for Washington. Yeah. But Washington is also a team that's not really doing much. They're kind of cleaning house on a couple of players. They sent out Lane Thomas yesterday to Cleveland. I read a piece this morning that said players most likely to be traded, and Kyle Finnegan was on the list, and list of possibilities was Diamondbacks.
Arizona.
And now everybody in Arizona's like, we don't want him.
Yeah. I'll be curious to see if there's anything else in that hopper that might be coming down for the Diamondbacks. I will say this, though. After the first 3 innings last night, the Diamondbacks went down 1 through 9 the first time through the order. And after 3 innings, I thought, are they going to get no hit tonight? They ended up with 14 hits in that game last night. Yeah. After doing Stugotz for 3 innings. They literally were 14 for their last 28, as I said in the blast. That's insane.
That is remarkable.
That's not what you expect from this baseball team. And then for Ketel Marte to be part of it, because it doesn't happen without him.
No, but I'll also say this. A Monday night game in late July in the dead of summer in Arizona against the Washington Nationals, who are not competing for a playoff spot, basically, is never good for attendance or atmosphere. Brutal. They listed 18,790. I didn't see any real crowd shots because in a night like that, they're not going to show a lot of crowd shots. Yeah. It was so, watching that game on television, it was so quiet. And to the point where, was there any Nationals fans there at all? Because when they did something good, it was silent. And for the Diamondbacks to be able to drum up the requisite energy and oomph to get over that hump and make that comeback is something, because it was like a morgue in there.
I had a friend who was there last night, and he said that he's rarely seen a lesser crowd, especially for a good team, but at least it felt cool in the building because there was nobody there. So there you go. So I don't know. Yeah, listen, it's that week when everyone's getting back to school. This is kind of the time when that place is always kind of emptied out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's hope and let's literally hope that when we get into August here that people are going to kind of see that this is go time for this baseball team.
That it's not about, it's too hot to do anything, or it's a school night, or it's it's the Rockies in town.
Right.
Make it about the Diamondbacks again.
Listen, last night I thought that team was dead in the water. Jordan Montgomery, this dude has got me very, very angry. This is really, really this is pathetic what they're getting from him.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta.
Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.